Um, continue to watch The Punisher. Oh, and Daredevil, I guess. Okay, let's go.
Come on, you're gonna have to explain this to me. Isn't saying that
When the sawdust settles and the engine finally roars.
Of women's rights to dignity, safety, and autonomy over their own bodies. Well, as long as you agree with him. If there was ever a case for tyrannical toxic masculinity, submit to Vorsh's worldview, or the rules of feminism need not apply. You're probably just a slut who wants to be sexually harassed anyway.
Yeah, I have to agree with her. I don't know how you can say or believe any of that stuff and support women, you know? I for one, I don't know how you're popular when you say any of this shit. I would like to know the people what I would like to talk to the people who watch the channel and have a real conversation with them.
Right, Vorsh. Come on, you're gonna have to explain this to me. Isn't saying that like a cardinal sin on the left? Isn't that like the worst thing you can do? I don't know. You tell me. Your crowd. What was she wearing and all that? Isn't that what the slut walks are all about?
Why, for one, even if the Observer was just in a thong and underwear, even if she was just wearing that, it wouldn't have anything. The fact that it wouldn't have anything, it wouldn't pertain to anything she was saying, basically. Sorry, I'm a bit tired, but it wouldn't pertain to anything she was saying. The way she dressed would have nothing to do with what she's saying. So I don't know why you bring it up, other than to just take a dig at her.
What about, isn't that whole thing? A short skirt's not an invitation. What happened to that? Why don't I get that kind of treatment, Vorsh? That's not fair. Or am I'm fair game now because I have not even right wing, I'm just fucking centrist.
What if the Observer was a she? Would that change his opinion?
Ish, politics, so normal rules need not apply. Okay. I really must thank you for demonstrating my point, Vorsh. Male feminists only care about the ideology and not about actual women, and they will actively attack women if they're a threat to that ideology, getting a kick out of being as misogynistic as they like to those women they've deemed heretics. It's about power, not progress. And if you're a far-left woman, screw you. Get sexually harassed and cry about it, I guess. You probably wanted it anyway.
Why?
You're not progressive, Vorsh. You're not.
Again, how... I'm going to belabor this point, but how do you get popular saying that shit? I mean, Vorsh is popular, so people then, just average people have to listen to him, right? Not just people on the left. So how does he get popular with just hating women like this? How?
You can't call yourself that.
Just because he's been on the internet longer? You do kind of just accrue people the more you're on like YouTube and stuff. So I think that might be part of it, That's where I think Hassan is, He just been on the internet long enough.
It's ridiculous. Come on, be honest. Just be honest. It's just about power. It's obviously just about power. I don't know. That's just from where I'm sitting. That's what it looks like. Anyway, I hope this explained to everyone why I find a lot of male feminists creepy. I'm sorry, Vorsh, that was rude of me. But if you don't want to be called creepy, maybe don't say that I want to be sexually harassed. I feel like that's fair. Is that fair? That's fair.
Like just the short skirt plus like
That's not a short skirt, okay? If anything, that's an average skirt. You got Okay. Alright, I think. Okay, let's do this. I think right about here, that's where her skirt ends, right where. Okay, let's do this. So I think so. Her. So it goes about to her. She's sitting down right now, so I think it would go about to her knees, maybe just above. I think that's it's about average. That's a good length, and she's wearing leggings, so even if you could see up it, you would see less. I think below the knees, that's long. That's a long dress, right? And then all the way down a different kind of dress. But that's an average dress. You'd see a lawyer wear that kind of dress, skirt. If you were to put on a kind of a jacket of some kind or something like that, she could be a lawyer. Should look like a lawyer. I don't know what's wrong with this outfit. Like I was watching Daredevil right now, and there's characters that aren't portrayed as sexual at all that wear dresses about that long. It's I don't know.
Like like just the short skirt plus like the stockings and the so on.
Wouldn't the stockings add? See, you'd be able to see less, basically.
Speaking of Vorsh not really caring about what happens to women who disagree with him, let's talk about Sydney Watson. I mentioned her in my first video as the woman Vorsh listened to tearfully talk about her assault, and then he immediately responded with, "Bullshit, that didn't happen."
For one, why would you just say, "Oh, it didn't happen"? You're not going to automatically assume she's raped because people can lie, to try and get ahead or this or that, the other thing. But you can't be like bullshit, have a healthy amount of skepticism, but you don't automatically assume it's bullshit. Why? Why would you just assume it's bullshit?
Which seems a little opposed to his politics. I should clarify, I'll be fair to Vorsh, I don't want to give the impression that they were like in person talking. He was reacting to a video of her. So it was my opinion, this reaction of his was due to Sydney having right-wing political beliefs. This was my opinion, an opinion that has only been strengthened after what he just said about me. It seems women only match if they agree with his worldview, but Vorsh took issue with this.
I hate ideology like that. I hate that. Why? I don't see the point of being on picking a side then. If you're just gonna agree with people that agree with you, it's bullshit.
He had a problem with how I viewed this, and I'm glad he brought it up because there were some things I wanted to say. So, firstly, I'd already seen the video of him. He like clarified that that's not what he said.
Having opinions, if you don't want them attested, you know. You know, the point of having an opinion, the point of having a point of view is it's the best one that you have decided that you have come upon, right? And you know, not the other ones are bad. It's just you personally take this one, you know? So why would you, obviously you see the others lesser than yours because that's why you have that opinion. But why would you automatically hate that person? I mean, obviously, hate the rapist, all of those stuff, people that do that, but what?
And he explained himself, and I'd already seen the video before I did my first video. I had looked up on this. I'd already seen the video of him trying to explain himself after he'd said that about Sydney. So he did a follow-up video where he's like, no, this is why. So I already knew what his supposed defense was. And right off the bat, I would just like to say that, in my opinion, it just, to me, just seemed like the most transparent attempt at backtracking.
For one, I don't think you could have any of. If you say, if someone said they're raped and you say bullshit, you're lying. You're just a bad person. There's nothing you could say to defend yourself at that point, you know?
Backtracking and scrambling for a reasonable excuse I've ever seen. Secondly, Vorsh, I'm going to tell you now, you're actually factually incorrect. I'll tell you why. So I just want to add, in his video, Vorsh actually thought that I was arguing that we should always believe all women, regardless of evidence and circumstance, which is not my position. But again, he didn't actually listen to what I'd said before formulating an opinion and going off on a tangent about it. But anyway, that's kind of beside the point. Oh, and in the video you did on me, Vorsh, you continued to mock Sydney by imitating her crying about it.
Why?
That was...
Again, you can't defend that. I don't care what you say. There's nothing you can say that's going to get you out of making fun of a rape victim, you know?
really quite disgusting.
No, yeah, like basically, it's you know that like trope in stories where a person is like telling a really sad story, and then like they're getting near the end, and they're like, then they're starting to talk about how they have like an investment opportunity for you. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't afford to have my little cat Whiskers go to the vet. Thankfully, I have a little timeshare off in Aruba that I'm looking to get off my hands, and I was wondering, like instantly your alarm bells ring. Yeah.
Is Varsh comparing this woman talking about being raped and crying? Is she comparing that to scammers who try and take your money? Varsh is an evil person, unironically. I mean, he is because he's a pedophile. But other than that,
mate, you're better than that.
Yes, he was still a pedophile, but probably. But he didn't know. We didn't know that was the case.
So
he wasn't that stupid yet.
Sydney claimed the police refused to investigate her assault because the guy was from a certain religion. I think those were her words. Her words or something like that.
Why would the religion matter?
You, Vorsh, said that she was obviously lying and this couldn't possibly be true because, according to you...
Now, it's a little weird when everyone's talking about their rape experience.
Stupid fucking ponytail.
is.
The
And then one
raggedy
person
ponytail,
says-
you know, this is the good. It looks like a pedophile hair.
Oh, well.
I mean, I look like a
well,
pedophile, but that's because I'm losing my hair. Well, I look good. You know, I say that as a joke, but I kind of like the bald look. Tell me what you think. But I don't know. The scraggly ponytail, I think it looks bad.
My
You
person,
gotta have thicker hair for that.
he wasn't white, and, well, rape experiences.
Which you,
Okay.
Vorsht, said that she was obviously lying and this couldn't possibly be true because, according to you,
Now, it's a little weird when everyone's talking about their rape experiences, and then one person says, "Oh, well, my person, he wasn't white,
What, the race wouldn't matter? You were raped?
and, well, because of his religion, the police said that the cultural differences mean they wouldn't prosecute him." I don't think this is something that most of the viewers of this channel need reminding of, but I really don't think there's a habit of police officers failing to investigate the sexual assault or rape of white women by non-white people.
I get it, you know. I get the meme. Oh, black people, you know, they get it worse. They do get it worse sometimes. But religion can play a part in all this stuff. So you can't discount that. You know, it's possible. I don't. Why would you automatically not believe her? You know, without knowing anything else, you know, than that information. I think you're taking a lot of biases in. You know, you want to.
Now, it is
What, you think all cops are
not statistic.
think all cops? I think I would hope a cop would go after everyone equally.
Statistically impossible that everything she said happened did happen. That the police actually said, "We won't investigate because of cultural differences."
Well, that wouldn't be the cops' decision. That would be law or it would be someone above them. They would just be the ones saying it.
I can't fathom a police officer making that claim. Can you imagine that? Like,
Again, it wouldn't be their fault.
hey, I'm a white woman. I was
I
was
don't
sexually
know what race had to do with it. Race had nothing to do with it.
assaulted by a brown person. Oh, well, okay, we won't
Race doesn't. Again, it wouldn't be them. It would be the people above them saying it to them, and then they say it to her.
investigate it, though, because they're Muslim. We won't do that, though.
This is what you wanted.
Are you ready? You know this is happening.
Vorsh, it's amazing how wrong you are. A quick Google search would show you how wrong you are. So I don't know if you're dishonest or if you've just never heard.
I don't know much about the situation, never heard of this, but everything I said, I think would be true. Like, it wouldn't be the cops making that decision, it would be the people above them.
Of the grooming gang scandals, but I'll treat this like you've never heard of them, okay? Because everything you just said has, yes, literally happened, provably, on a
Okay.
massive scale.
Okay, if we have other examples, then he's a liar. You know, he's a liar.
In Britain. I have no idea what things are like in America. Sydney Watson's Australian for a start. I don't know where in the world she was when this happened. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that what you just said, that the police would never not investigate a white woman's assault.
There is a precedent, so he is provably wrong.
The perpetrator was a Muslim is mind-blowingly incorrect. And all you Americans, hold on to your horses. Hang on, bear with me, okay? Calm down and listen to me for a minute. What I'm going to say is not a conspiracy theory or something only right-wingers believe. I need you to understand that this is common knowledge, a widely accepted fact in Britain, and this has been widely known about for about a decade now. I was at school when this scandal broke, and I remember it dominating the news for a very long time. This is a fact, not a wacky fringe theory, and a fact that the police admit to. So in Rotherham, in Yorkshire, which is a town.
Another. Speaking of that, I've been hearing another shit thing that's been happening in Britain is you can get arrested for tweets, and then they want to arrest people over here in America for making tweets about them. Isn't that bullshit? You know, come at me, England, please, come at me. But that's also bullshit. Not bad at this, but that's also kind of shit. Almost like we need, free speech and everywhere, and free speech is good. The First Amendment.
A conservative estimate is that over 1,500 girls were abused between 1997 and 2013. This happened in my county, in Yorkshire, just an hour and a half down the road from where I am now. The police knew about this the whole time it was going on, but they never did anything to stop it. Do you know why they never did anything to stop it? The police never properly investigated or did anything because most of the perpetrators were from, in Sydney's words, a certain religion, and the police didn't want to exacerbate racial tensions.
That's horrible, and if I was a cop, I would not care. I mean, I assume it wouldn't be their decision. I assume it wouldn't be the officer's decision. So at that point, I would quit my job because, I would feel like the law was not being upheld, But that's something I would do.
The police themselves and politicians now admit this. So yes, Vorsh, the police would actually just come out and say that they won't investigate because of cultural differences. Some of those girls were as young as 11 years old, beaten and raped by multiple men. Sometimes they doused them in petrol and threatened to set them on fire. I know you don't care what happens to rich women, but even you should care about this, Vorsh, because these were not middle-class girls. These were the most vulnerable girls in society. Many of these girls were in and out of care homes, girls from abusive homes, girls from the most deprived backgrounds who had nobody to protect them or defend them or care about them, girls who jumped at the first opportunity of what they thought was genuine affection, girls in the perfect position to be manipulated, taken advantage of, and then raped, passed around multiple men. You want to talk about grooming? The police failed those girls in every possible way.
Again, I don't know if I was a police officer there and I was told not to do my job. I'm assuming they were told not to do my job. I'm assuming they were told not to do anything about it. But if I were told not to do anything about it, I would quit my job. I'd be like, no, this is awful. I wouldn't give a shit about racial tensions. Who fucking cares?
They neglected their duty of care is an understatement.
Open up a couple cans of whoop ass on them.
So vast it is insulting. South Yorkshire police are an absolute disgrace and have no right to ever again claim they protect or defend anyone. At the time, the police said that these girls were prostitutes making lifestyle choices. As we all know, this
at 11. Okay.
no such thing as an 11-year-old prostitute, but there are 11-year-old rape victims. You'd think the police would know that. Apparently not.
Yeah, she literally said the cops said they wouldn't investigate because of cultural differences. Like, oh yeah, dude, that's something cops love to do. Cops love to not investigate.
This is provable. They have said this. I don't know why you look it up, Vosh. Don't know why you don't look it up, Vosh. You bastard.
Muslims sexually assaulting white women because
Again,
of the
race had nothing to do with it.
Cultural differences of
1,500 girls.
You're trying to put this race thing on it, and it doesn't matter.
1,500 in one town, not city, town, just down the road, just down the road. And Rotherham's not the only example of this, by the way. So, I have no idea if what Sydney said happened to her happened. I don't know her, and I don't know much about her, though she seemed genuine. And I'm inclined to believe her, but your ignorant statement that she had to be lying about the police not investigating due to the religion of the perpetrator, because apparently the police would literally never refuse to investigate the assault of a white woman if the perpetrator was Muslim, is flat out wrong. Provably wrong.
Again, when rape is involved, race doesn't matter, you know? I don't know.
Amazingly, arrogantly, ridiculously wrong. Maybe that's true in America. But it's happened before in Europe. It's well documented. It's an accepted fact and one admitted to by those involved.
Surprising nobody, Vosh misrepresents everything. I can believe it.
And this upper middle class, like
Okay.
British.
What you and your ilk, J.K. Rowling, what you and your ilk fail to appreciate is how tenuously familiar I find your tactics. I had a violent ex-husband who used to tell me my life would be great if only I'd comply, but you're making the same mistake he did. Women like me can't be bullied out of resistance. Damn it. All J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up, and she could have been almost uncritically beloved for like a century. This is incredibly sexist. I don't know. She talking about I had a violent ex-husband who used to tell me. So, she talking about somebody being abusive and telling, oh, if you only comply, if you only listen to exactly what I say, right? And then he says all this shit, and women be quieter and start apologizing challenge. Doing exactly what she's saying. You're just proving her point, Bosch. You're stupid.
Affect right here, this thing that she's doing. I think I speak for most of you, at least a lot of you, when I say that this aesthetic, this behavior, this attitude is contemptible.
Is Vosh actually retarded? Is he mentally? I mean, I'm mentally retarded, but is Vosh retarded? I wonder.
This posh bullshit is
he's so deeply ideological that he mimics a kind of retardation. Be interesting to know.
insufferable. Like, it's actually not even like in a political sense.
Like,
it's just everything about it.
I would need to put on the kid gloves to argue with Vosh, you know, to be like, okay, basic colors, basic letters, you know, don't go on those concepts because it'd be too big for him to understand that, you know, when she says, I had a violent ex-husband who used to tell me life would be great if only I'd comply. And then Vosh says, women be quieter and start apologizing challenge. You know, he can't see the hypocrisy.
Arrogance and condescension and classist elitism. In a way that I think most people find very, very off-putting. Yeah, existentially revolting.
People actually liked this tweet. Yeah, people did. People are fucking.
Remember when I told you guys that sometimes the accent made people mad? Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. Rare that it meets this level of vitriolic hatred, but Vought has a lot of feelings, and we must create a space for him to safely express those feelings.
Yeah, we must create a space, a very soft space. It had 4 walls that you could say are padded. It'd be a room, like a padded room. You know, it'd have a padded door. Throw it closed, push him in, throw it closed. A little bar that comes down, then you walk away. You know? A space, yeah. You know, he could do all. We'd give him, a laptop that doesn't work. He'd be happy, tweeting all about the hypocrisy that he loves most.
I'm elitist and condescending. All right. I would, however, invite the audience to imagine the levels of arrogance required to watch only a few random snippets of someone's video and then actually thinking you understood their arguments and could speak about it for 50 minutes.
It does sound like the kind of video, like channel name that you would have for a person with a very high opinion of themselves.
While we're on the topic of those who have high opinions of themselves, what might we call someone who made a video debunking someone else and spent most of the time not engaging with or even watching any actual arguments, but instead masturbating their own ego, lazily playing a few random clips and then using them to go off on massive tangents in a blatant and clumsy attempt to flaunt their own intellect rather than to say anything of value? I can think of a few words. Vorsh got very personal about my general demeanour and how off-putting he found it, so I suppose it's only fair
Because he didn't have any actual arguments. And the arguments they did have were fucking retarded.
I return the favour. He's got this really self-important way of speaking. Like, he clearly thinks the things he's saying are intelligent, but everything he says is so ill-informed, it honestly made me laugh out loud several times. It was like watching someone fight thin air, debunking things I'd never said, arguing against this phantom of what he imagined I believed.
I don't feel a need to watch from the beginning because I have no respect for this woman.
Okay.
I believed.
I don't feel a need to.
Okay, then your criticism is officially invalid, because if you're reacting to a video, you should watch the whole video. You should know everything the person says, or else you're ill-informed. Your opinion officially doesn't matter. You know?
To watch from the beginning because I have no respect for this woman.
Oh,
Right.
darling.
Right. Why? Even if I didn't respect someone, I would listen to their opinion, to understand their point of view, And even if you don't want to listen to them, you can build more arguments if you listen to more of their arguments, You're just going to go halfway through a video and not know what the fuck they're talking about and say the wrong things because you don't know what they're talking about.
I don't think we're in any danger of any woman expecting respect when it comes to you. I think that ship sailed a long time ago. But how about watching it not because you respect me? How about watching the whole video so you don't make a tit of yourself? Is that a good enough reason? I don't respect you, but I still thought it best to listen to everything you had to say before giving my opinion on it. It was embarrassing to watch. All he did was skip around my video, watching the odd little section here and there, and then coming up with whole arguments against something I didn't believe.
Yeah. What? Again, why do people like him?
And then for some reason, he acted all confused and put on this condescending, self-important air of, this woman is not making any sense. This is so dumb. I unironically don't
Why? Again, would
even understand what she's trying to say. Acting like his lack of understanding was my failure to make a good point. I wouldn't understand someone's argument either, Forshy, if I watched a few out-of-context sentences from
exactly
almost an hour-long video. Why on earth would you expect to? Well, you didn't expect to. You did it intentionally, didn't you? Knowing that you wouldn't have to understand or engage because you're a dishonest person.
Well, to be fair, if he did actually listen to her point, he would be wrong. So you might as well just skip everything, and misrepresent it, because that's the only way you're gonna be right,
I think I pricked your substantial ego when I insulted you in my last video, and I think that this response of yours was a spiteful attempt to embarrass me, because how very dare I have a go at you? I also think the fact it was a woman doing it actually really got under your skin.
Shut up, bitch.
I'm not a fan of his, if you couldn't tell. So someone else will have to tell me if this sort of response is a normal thing.
What did Vosh get popped? I know he's a political streamer, but was he also always a political streamer, or did he do something else before? make himself popular? Because or did he have better points before? I don't see how you could get popular by saying that type of shit.
Thing for him? Surely he's not always this ill-informed and lazy, not with the large following he has. How would anyone take anything he says seriously if this is like a regular occurrence for him? I don't know. Why do people watch him? He'd be bleeding brain cells all over the place. Surely he's more impressive than this most of the time, is what I'm trying to say in this bit. Surely there's got to be some reason for his huge success. He can't be like this all the time and have gotten there. Surely not.
I have to agree.
Yeah, so I don't actually need to come up with any counter arguments to Vorsh's points, because they're relevant to everything. How about I just play some clips of what he thought I believed, and those of you who actually watched my video can tell me if this is my position.
What is the difference between her
I haven't seen this video, so I will just comment if I believe this or not.
perspective here and like an 1800s misogynist what is the difference between her perspective here and like an 1800s misogynist father who believes women should be pure and dainty and untarnished, but like the purity of women is ruined by battle? That's a long held position to this day and has been for millennia. The idea that women represent some kind of like maternal purity that gets sullied by things like enterprise, commerce, and warfare.
I don't think femininity gets sullied by warfare and commerce. I don't know what femininity and warfare and commerce would have to do with each other.
That's like a pretty common misogynistic belief that like women should be kept barefoot and pregnant because the rigors of the general world are too much for their pure souls.
I'd have to watch the video. So
and that women who
I don't trust Walsh enough to. I think Walsh would misrepresent this. So I will excuse myself for criticizing this.
Partake in these things are tainted, and that makes them worse mothers and wives.
I mean, if you get like a head injury or something in war and you're fucking mentally fucked up, or you've seen too much or shit like that, it may affect your ability to become a mother, or shit like that. Or maybe you get into finance or stuff like, or you go into, your work is just, you're busy all the time and you don't have time to be a mother. That's understandable.
Is that not a common, like, this isn't just like modern misogyny. This is like old school misogyny coming from her. This gives me 50s
I will react to that video next.
Housewife feminism energy. Yeah, you can go back and look at like home shopping catalogs from the 50s where they talk about like the new woman. You don't have to be a little pushover just because that's what the fella says. You can be a strong woman of your own. Here, get your own dishwasher. With this dishwasher, you'll have more time to spend with the gals. Don't even care what the hubby thinks, like some shit like that. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? I can't ad-lib this.
No, I don't.
It's like it's like this very, very, very like thin appeal to progressivism and women's strength, while mostly just being about reaffirming the pre-existing gender roles. Yeah.
What's the verdict, guys? Does that sound like what I believe? Or is it a total warping of what I was saying from someone who, again, didn't watch it?
I didn't watch it. But I don't
concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund. And if anyone...
I didn't watch it, but...
Mulan was too trans. The guy, she's not a feminist. She wants women to...
Watch it.
Yeah, Mulan was too...
I didn't watch the video, but I don't think she was saying that. I don't think the Observer would say women should say barefoot and pregnant,
Trans. The guy, she's not a feminist.
Again, didn't watch it.
Yeah, Mulan was too trans. The guy, she's not a feminist.
Mulan was... What?
she wants women to be women and men to be men. She wouldn't like Mulan because Mulan was like a defiance of traditional gender roles.
Well, Mulan was a story that she wanted to go and defend her country, but only men could, so she pretended to be a man, but ended up, ditching that in the end, and everyone accepted her. So it's actually the opposite because in the end they all, even though she was a woman, they all accepted her.
Now, this should really demonstrate to everyone how little he understands my opinions on women. We've talked about Mulan before, guys. We even had a bit of a Mulan scandal on this channel. Yeah, I've mentioned several times how I think Mulan is a wonderful example of a strong female character.
Okay.
How I admire her bravery and love the story, and I think she's a brilliant way to portray a female warrior. The old Mulan, not the new Mulan. She's one of my favorite Disney princesses.
I assume she meant that.
In fact, a fantastic example of female strength. Because I actually don't have an issue with female fighters, which again, Vorsh, you would know if you.
I've been watching Daredevil, and I do have a few issues with some of the women in there. Like, they do. I've been seeing this, and I do see that when Elektra fights the actress for Elektra, she doesn't look very big. So whenever she fights a man, she'd start to lose. Whenever she fights a woman, she wins. So I appreciate that kind of, and especially bigger looking men. Obviously, if they were looked about the same size, that would be more even. But bigger looking men, they usually beat her up. But I would like women to, especially if they're gonna fight bigger men, to like that woman that was in The Mandalorian. I like women to bulk up a little if they're gonna, be fighting men. If they're gonna fight men and win, I'd like them to look a bit beefier. But that's not the point she was making.
If you watched the video, you took one look at how I was dressed and heard me say I value femininity, and then immediately assumed I was an extremely conservative right-wing type who thinks women have to be one specific way, and that one way is to only be mothers and wives. You're so far off on what you think my opinions are, it's laughable. You have actually decided that because I am wearing a short skirt and tights, I must hold all the opinions of a Stepford wife. I hope your normal political analysis has a little bit more depth and intelligence to it than that. Because if not, that's pretty disappointing. Vorsh also thought, because he skipped to the end without watching the video, that when I talked about femininity being able to grow and sustain life, that I was referring only to pregnancy, and took from that that's all I thought women were good for, and also that I was grooming teenage girls.
Grow and sustain life, immediately talking about biological reproduction while addressing, by her admission, teenage girls. The literal grooming, yeah.
Vorsh, seriously, this is embarrassing. If you'd watched the video, you'd understand I was talking about the symbolic meaning of femininity. How I also mentioned, by the way, how men could have those qualities too. That went right over your head, because what you took from the video was this.
She wants women to be women and men to be...
Well, to be fair, if I'm being fair, Vosh thinks about teenage girls, anime teenage girls, and probably real life ones, naked, because he had lolicon. And this is provable, so come at me, Vosh. But, to be fair, when he heard teenage girls, he was probably thinking of his lolicon stash, so we can't push him too hard on that, because, he can't help but be a pedophile,
to be men.
Okay, and now we're on to the Lord of the Rings.
I think this girl might be a fake fan.
Why did you assume I hadn't read the book, Vorshi? That's very interesting.
I haven't read the books. I've only seen the movies. I'm not particularly a fan myself. I saw the movies once a while ago.
It's not because I'm female, is it? Surely such a noble defender of women like yourself would never have assumed a young woman was faking a passion for something typically seen as a male area of
My passion is the God of War, especially in the new God of War, and then Star Wars. And throw some The Expanse, Battlestar Galactica, and Stargate in there for good measure. Oh, and anime.
interest. You didn't think I was pretending to be interested in the Lord of the Rings just to get attention from men, did you? I can't help getting the feeling you wouldn't have said that about a bloke. I think, my darling, that you just committed what all the cool kids are calling a microaggression these days. Now that's very naughty.
Fought in defense of the Motherkin and Feanor, escaped the sack of Doria, host cross. Okay, this is some nerd ass shit. Okay, she fights a lot.
Okay, so yeah, now on to Galadriel. So thing is, Vorsh, I actually addressed this point at the beginning of my video, which again is one of the parts you didn't watch. If you had watched the whole video, you would know I am...
Okay, I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna continue later. But like, subscribe, and comment to me and the Authentic Observer. Thank you. Bye.